Welcome to Rita's Kitchen. Today I've decided I'm going to grant a request. We'll be doing something hearty and tasty for the soul. Chicken Florentine soup. But first thing first in Rita's Kitchen, what must you do? Wash your hands. When washing your hands, first thing you want to do is wet them. Put a little soap. Lather them up. Go up your arm a bit. Back down your hands, in between your fingers, up underneath those nail beds, because what you're trying to do is capture all germs when working with food. If that don't work, do the happy birthday song for 10, 15, or even 20 seconds will do. I'm back. My hands are clean. Let's get started with making this hearty dish. First thing you're going to need for this soup is your chicken. Chicken I went with was a boneless white breast. Diced it down into cube-sized pieces. Next thing you're going to need for your soup is your fond. Your fond is your foundation. You want to start with a carrot. I went with a mini carrot and I actually just cut it strictly in half. Next, you're going to do a celery. You're going to dice that down into nice little cube-sized pieces for the spoon. Then you're going to go with a sweet white onion. Do the same. Then you're going to add your spinach once your fond get all the way sweated down, because spinach don't take no time to. And while you're adding your spinach, because the spinach is what actually make your soup the Florentine. Because a Florentine is pretty much just a spinach base. You can pair it with tomatoes. You can do it with onions, whatever you want to do. Stuff it in chicken, pork, whatever. So, next thing you're going to put in your soup, you're going to do some Knorr chicken bouillon cube seasoning. This is the powder form. This is actually the best. I love it. I use it for a lot of different things. You're going to go with some minced garlic and 1 can of tomatoes. It's your choice if you want a stewed or just strictly a diced. Now for that pasta in your soup, to tie it all together, you're going to do a cheese stuffed tortellini. And you don't want to add that until everything is done, because these are already done. You can find them in any grocery store, Walmart, or wherever. And they only take literally anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes to get done. So once your soup is done, you can turn it off and throw your pasta in there and let it stand until you get ready to eat it. So now we're going to go over to my cooking station and we're going to get started with sweating these veggies down and start this transformation for our great soup. See you over. Okay, so now I've added the foundation to the pot. So we're just going to allow these veggies to sweat out for at least maybe 10 minutes or so. Then we're going to go ahead and add that chicken and let it saute off to get done. And then we're going to add that spinach and add our broth. And then we're going to start the boiling process. And this is a really tasty but simple way of cooking. So I'll be back with you guys in a minute. Okay, now I've allowed my foundation to go ahead and sweat down, which is the onions, the celery, and the carrots. As you see, the onions and the celery, they're all the way done. Of course, the carrots are still a little coarse and taste a little hard, but that's okay because we still have to boil. But if that was a diced carrot, it would have went ahead and cooked through evenly with the rest of the foundation. Now I'm going to add a little of that minced garlic up in there. Maybe about 2 tablespoons, and I want some of that natural juice from it. Stir that around. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and add that white meat chicken breast. Saute that pretty well. So now we're going to allow this to cook. Then once the chicken is done, we're going to put our spinach and some seasonings and add our broth intake. So be back in a sec with you guys. Okay, our chicken has cooked good enough, and it'll finish cooking throughout this process. So now we're going to go ahead and add our raw spinach, and you don't have to use fresh spinach if you don't want to. If you like to use frozen or canned, totally up to you. But as you all will see, this spinach don't take any time to wilt down. Okay, this is smelling like fantabulous. Fantabulous. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and add some of our chicken flavor bouillon powder. And you want to do it according to taste. And a pot of this caliber, I would probably say start off with about 4 tablespoons and taste it and see if that's okay for your palate. If you need more, then go ahead and add more. But add until it's strictly enough for your salty taste. I don't like to be overpowering with my flavor. I like to taste everything. And sometimes seasonings can overdo things. Okay, as you guys see, that's looking really good. So now we're going to go ahead and add those tomatoes. Stir that in. And this is a good pot. A good pot. So, now that is done, we're going to go ahead and add about maybe a gallon of water. And that water is what your broth is, and it's going to pick up that natural flavor of that chicken, that bouillon cube in powder form that we just discussed. And this is where your soup comes from. Now, if you don't like a soupy soup, then you may not want to put that much. But when I eat soup, I like broth. So I like for it to be very, very, very tasty with fluid jumping off. I like my fluids going on with my soups, because you can get something thick and real pasty fast, and that ain't what I like. And looking at the color of this, because I know how I like how things to look, I'm probably going to add a little bit more of that seasoning. And I'm going to let this boil out for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And then I'll let you guys see the finished product. And we're going to add that pasta. Be back in a sec. Okay, our pot has came to a full boil and everything has cooked evenly to completion. So we're going to go ahead and add our last and final step to this nice hearty dish. And I know it's cold outside, so this will warm your bones and everything else. So we're going to go ahead and add our cheese stuffed tortellini. And again, don't forget, I told you guys that this literally takes anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes. So you can go ahead and turn your pot of soup off and put your lid on and let it stand. And the hot soup is going to cook the noodle that's already done. So be back with the final stages of chicken Florentine soup. Chicken Florentine soup. Voila.